Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over nearly 20 new VR games that are planning to drop in the month of July. Normally, this is when we start to see the summer slump, as many people are just too hot to play VR, spending more time outside, or getting away to some travel destination. But if you like the VR game year-round, it looks like July won't disappoint, because there's a lot of exciting games dropping soon. Now, there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, and this video has been ordered by expected release date, but like normal, that's always subject to change. But let's start things off with the two titles coming to Quest Plus this month. First up is the ultimate party game of deception, Among Us 3D. Now, this was originally a first-person VR take on the beloved flat-screen title, but it's recently been updated with new gameplay modes and cross-platform support with flat-screen gamers. So if you've never played Among Us before, I highly recommend you go jump in. And next up in the Quest Plus releases is Blockbuster VR. Now, this is another party-style game, but instead of backstabbing everyone, you're jumping straight into combat. It's pretty much like engaging in your very own Godzilla or Kaiju-style battle as you stomp around a city punching each other in the face. Now, I've never actually tried this game, but if you have, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Now, moving into this month's new releases, first up is the stunningly beautiful puzzle game Firmament. Now, this is from the same studio that originally gave us Myst and Riven, and they're back again with that same style of immersive storytelling. Now, nearly 2 years ago, this title had a rocky release on PCVR, but they have made significant updates, with the recent review score moving to mostly positive, and I'm really curious to see how this title does now that it's moving to the PlayStation VR 2. But if you're not interested in fantasy worlds, and reality could be creepy enough already, well then it sounds like you're experiencing Crave. Crave claims to be the most realistic spelunking game, and I'm going to take their word for it because I don't know any other spelunking titles. Regardless though, diving down into these claustrophobic environments, having to rely heavily on your tools, sounds like the perfect immersive experience for VR. And they've also just recently added a new map called the Devil's Gut, which I'm sure is a nice, peaceful experience. Now, if you prefer to stay above ground and you're into mixed reality, we have Jungle Man. Now, this is from the same studio that gave us Tarzan VR. And while you'll once again be swinging between vines, this time you'll be doing it in mixed reality with no controllers in what they're calling a chaotic action puzzler. Procedural generation will turn your real-life living space into a dynamic obstacle course, and then it's your job to get your little caveman across safely. Now, I'm not expecting too much from this game, but I definitely want to jump in because it looks like a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, we're getting a brand new Prison Boss title. Prison Boss Prohibition takes the title in a new direction, as it's a crafting title where you're making bootleg liquor during the Prohibition era. That's right, boys and girls, there was a time in American history when we thought alcohol should be illegal. Now remember though guys, it's not just about making the best booze, you'll also have to do this without getting caught by the police. Now, Prison Boss Prohibition is actually playable in both single player and two-player co-op, so why not go ahead and bring a buddy along to help you commit some crime. But if you rather fight zombies together, or maim your friends with some Home Alone style traps, well then you should check out Requisition VR, as it's making its way onto Pico and Quest headsets. Now, I actually played this game on PCVR back in 2023, and it has one of the coolest crafting systems, allowing you to make weapons out of basically anything. The Home Alone style traps are not only awesome, but pretty hilarious. And overall, the game did offer up a unique experience that you don't quite get anywhere else. But overall, it was a bit janky, and I just lost interest in the two gameplay modes. It's nice to have the variety. There was a co-op zombie survival gameplay mode, and also a free-for-all, which play completely different, but there's only so much of that you can play before you get bored. And the level of fun also depends on who you're playing with. Now, jumping back to mixed reality, we have a title that I'm surprisingly excited for. Table Troopers looks like a combination between XCOM and Angry Birds. It's turn-based combat with some truly explosive results. I don't know why, but I feel like we're looking at a sleeper hit, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but if you guys want me to do a full review on a mixed reality title, let me know down in the comments and I will cover this game. And it looks like we're sticking with mixed reality for a little bit longer, as the rhythm title Beatable is going into full release. Now, I honestly thought this game would make a bigger splash when the early access originally released. It's almost like Beat Saber without getting yourself all sweaty. When I played this lazy man's mixed reality Beat Saber, I was really impressed. The mechanics felt great, except for my inability to snap well with my left hand. I loved how you could just snap your fingers and switch between mixed and virtual reality. And the title made me feel like I actually had a bit of rhythm. The only aspect that I found lacking was the overall amount of songs. but that's definitely enough to make or break a rhythm title. Moving on from mixed reality, we have a title for the racing sim fans. Le Mans Ultimate is going into full release, and yes guys, I did Google how to say that because you called me out last time. This is the official game of the FIA World Endurance Championship, and it's designed to get you behind the steering wheel of some hypercars. You'll be pushing speeds of over 200 miles an hour in both a single-player gameplay mode, online PvP, and an asymmetrical play on your own time type of competitive mode where you could challenge someone online, but they don't actually need to be there during your gameplay session. Now, I'm not really into the whole sim racing scene, but I know people love these games, and I'd love to hear your feedback down below if you've given this one a try. But if you're looking for something completely different, the puzzle arcade game Elemental Towers is also coming this month. This reminds me of Tetris meets one of those match-style mobile games while you're under attack from dragons in a fantasy realm. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Now, there's apparently a full single-player campaign, which will teach you more about this world. There's a global online leaderboard, and they're planning for some competitive multiplayer modes in the near future. Now, I rarely jump into VR just looking for a casual experience, but I will say something about this looks really intriguing. But I'm not sure I feel the same way about our next title, Rogue Pinata's VR-mageddon. This is a multiplayer roguelite title where you're fighting off waves of pinatas. Well, I guess that's actually better than another zombie shooter, but I never thought I'd be going toe-to-toe with an army of candy-filled cardboard. I don't want to sit here and knock the game though, because it does sound like it offers up a lot with 6 different character classes, 20 weapons to master, 18 different gadgets, 6 epic boss fights, and it's playable in both single player and online multiplayer. If the mechanics deliver, I'm sure it could be a fun time. It's probably just a little bit too kid-friendly for me. But now we're about to blast off into some warp tunnels with Space Drop. This looks like a little bit of a combination between a racing and rhythm game. You're going to be blasting through these warp tunnels at breakneck speed while avoiding a series of laser-style traps and grabbing some pickups. It looks like there's something potentially really cool here, but I also feel like this might be one of those titles that just gets buried in the noise or is instantly labeled just another tech demo. But if you prefer your space journeys to be more realistic, and if you enjoy VR cinematic movies, well then you might want to look into Space Explorers Ultimate Edition. Here you get to witness firsthand the lives of both veteran and novice NASA astronauts. It's an epic journey narrated by Brie Larson, and this is ideal for people who really enjoy content similar to National Geographic's. You'll be immersed in some larger-than-life environments, all while learning about things like how we made space travel possible in the first place, to what our plans for the far future include. Now, lucky for me, I'm a complete nerd and totally into this stuff. But if you've been watching this list, wondering where the big AAA style titles are, look no further, because we are finally getting the PCVR release of Wanderer Fragments of Fate. Now, this is a full remaster of the Wanderer title that released a few years ago, which not only adds a ton of content, updates and fixes plenty of mechanics, and even pushes the VR graphics to the max. Now, the Quest release of this title that we got months ago was a bit hit or miss. It just seems like the hardware on the Quest 3 cannot run a game this robust. I constantly joke that the game would be amazing on the Quest 4, but until then, I'm hoping we get a top-notch experience from PCVR. The original Wanderer was already extremely impressive, delivering a deep storyline, challenging puzzles, and some cool combat, and Fragments of Fate is just supposed to be that game plus. So here's hoping the PC version doesn't run like the Quest version. Now it looks like we're briefly jumping back to mixed reality for a second with Skyrunner Drone Hero. Now roughly a year ago, this project started out as Bomber Drone, which was a really cool free-to-play mixed reality experience where you fly a drone around and pick up some people and ride them to safety. Shortly after that, Flat the VR Studios got involved, saw the potential in this game, and they're helping to expand it with a full campaign mode and some additional multiplayer content. Now, the original Bomber Drone was one of the coolest mixed reality experiences I ever tried. You honestly felt like you had a drone flying around your house, and I'm really looking forward to see what they deliver with Skyrunner Drone Hero. And last up in today's list is another title I'm extremely excited for, and that is Besiege VR. Besiege was this absolutely beloved crafting physics style game where you created some truly unique war siege engines, put them into action, and then watch physics go crazy. It was one of those titles that looked addictively fun, but unfortunately I never got around to it on flat screen, so that's why I can't wait to experience this in VR. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much the VR aspect will add to the title, but a good game is a good game regardless. And that right there was today's list of games dropping in the month of July. Like I said, it's definitely not the best lineup, but there are some exciting experiences here. And every single month, we usually get some surprise curveball announcements, and I'm pretty sure July will be the same. Now, let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this video and what title you're most excited for. Now, I always appreciate when you guys leave a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We're really close to 100K. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.